Food and weight obsession can be exhausting. Losing weight, gaining weight, dieting, feeling like a failure because you missed your workout, binged, overate, or gained all the weight back. The cycle is endless and it can be maddening. But I am here to say you can stop the madness. You can take back control of your food behaviors, but you have to face your fears, ask for help, and make a change. I am Leslie M. Thornton, Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss coach from weightlossalbany.com. This is Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss, and I know you can make this happen. On this podcast, you will hear about how to stop the mental madness, how to love your body, trust your food decisions, and take back control of food so you can create a life of happiness, freedom, and inner peace. Today's episode is on emotional and anxious eating. Emotional and anxious eating is something that I see a lot. And I never used to describe myself as being an anxious person, even though my family had anxiety in it. For whatever reason, I just never took on that belief system for myself that I had that. And looking back now, I can definitely say that anxiety is something that I experience. And the way that I have chosen to deal with it without medications or without doctors' visits and things like that has all been what has led me to be able to have tools that can support my clients with not feeling like they have to eat food or that they're out of control in food, anxiety, all that great stuff that doesn't feel great when it's happening at all. So the biggest cause of anxiety that I see in clients is scarcity. So kind of like last week when I was talking about the hypnosis and the subconscious mind, and its goal is to keep us safe, this part of our brain. It has really good intentions, and unfortunately, one of the things that gets locked in there from the primitive brain is this needing to survive and actually thinking that there is not enough. There's a lack of food. There's a lack of energy. There's a lack of money. There's a lack of time, right? The list goes on. And when we feel this lack, first of all, most of us don't even realize what's actually happening that causes us to take that impulsive action, which can lead to the emotional and anxious eating, which is how we can feel so out of control. But when we learn how to slow that down, slow down your brain, and start to pay attention to what's happening, bringing mindfulness into the situation that you're in, that's when you can take back control. And that's when you can start recognizing patterns and places where you and or your brain are still falling into a scarcity mindset that is causing you to feel that anxiety and tension. So a way to relieve that is by doing one of many subconscious modality deep dive works into the body. Okay, so what that looks like is really going beneath the emotion that you're feeling. So say you're having a craving and it feels like, oh my God, I need to have that. I need to have all of that. I love that. Right? All that crazy energy starts up and you're just kind of going at it. And this could look in varying degrees as well. For some people, it might be way, like a 10 plus of panic and like that. And for some people, it might just kind of be like a 5 or a 6, right? So regardless of whatever end of the spectrum that you're on, this can definitely play a role. So getting curious, stopping and getting curious, like what's actually happening here? What thought am I believing that is causing me to feel this anxiety or pain or emotion in my body, right? So often, all of us are programmed to just be living in our heads. I've mentioned before how all of my clients are extremely smart people, right? Their logic and reasoning is on point. But when it comes to them living and experiencing life also in combination with their body, their head and their heart and body combined, that's when the magic really happens. So the experience of really getting into your body, feeling into that pain. So often we won't go into that pain because it feels scary. The thought of actually feeling that anxiety or feeling that emotion can feel extremely overwhelming and make it so that you'll do anything that you can to stop that pain. And that's totally innocent. That's totally normal. Don't blame yourself for that. It can feel scary, There's definitely been times on my path when I've been really scared to go into an emotion, and I needed a coach or a guide to be with me as I went there, and sometimes not even realizing the extent of what's there. But something beautiful happens when you actually do go there is your body is super wise. It will show you the answers that you're looking for. And what I mean by that is, if when you go into that pain and you actually just be with that and you kind of let your conscious mind go, then memories will pop up, pictures will pop up of, when I was 8 years old, right? Like I couldn't have that candy or that cookie and, mom or dad took it away from me, right? And it's like something as trite as that. But then all of a sudden your brain makes it mean there's scarcity. I can't have that. There's not enough of that, right? And so then your primal brain is trying to protect you and keep you safe and say, well, here it is now. We can't have this all the time. So you better take it all in and as fast as possible because you don't know when you're ever going to have this again. All right. And then so the mindset shift is turning over into abundance mindset. Okay. So what is abundance mindset? It's basically just having your mind believe that there's always enough. There's always enough money. There is more than enough money. There's more than enough food. There's more than enough, right? More than enough, more than enough, more than enough. Okay. And something happens when you surround yourself around that kind of mindset for a long period of time. And that's why, when we're talking about neuroplasticity, it takes a while for your habits and patterns to actually ingrain and catch up to what it is that you're up to now. Okay. And then what you start seeing is all of a sudden those forbidden foods, candy, cookies, ice cream, whatever your food of choice is, it no longer has that crazy energy or spark around it that causes us to feel out of control of ourselves around it. So, for example, going to the grocery store and buying, $300 worth of all different kinds of foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, fish and chicken and all this beautiful food, but then also the chips, also the cookies, also the ice cream, also the, the wine or the whatever, if you drink alcohol, like having it all there just to get your body to start believing that you have options. You're not going to deprive it of anything. You're not going to take anything away. There is more than enough, right? And if you're from a big family, maybe if you weren't there fast enough, your siblings got food and more of it than you did, right? So that could also have you being in scarcity. So it's just understanding and loving and appreciating and learning how to reparent, if you will, the part of yourself that is still afraid of all of that stuff and afraid of what's happening. But in my experience and what I see my clients walking through is that pain and that anxiety that you're feeling when you're eating is also the biggest opportunity for you to really dig deep and be able to problem solve and move so much faster through your problem versus numb that out, right? Because maybe your anxiety is coming from a difficult conversation that you had at work or with your partner. Or maybe it's coming from, the fact that you don't want to have to sit down and write that paper, or you don't want to, right? Have to do whatever you have to do next. And, I see this a lot with procrastination. There's so many patterns attached with this, which, motivation and all this kind of stuff. But when you start to really realize that, hey, if I just got support and actually, called someone who can help me with this problem, and I didn't try to figure it out all on my own and use, crunching and munching and eating as a way to help me through that phase. It can move your life forward much more powerfully and faster, and can even be more fun. So there's no shame. There's no right or wrong. It's just simply the work is about bringing awareness to why you're having these patterns so that you don't have to feel like you are completely out of control of what's happening, because that's where the most pain and suffering I see comes for people, is that they just feel like they've done everything that they can and they try to diet every day. My story, and then by 2 p.m., your hand's in the chip bag or you're baking cookies or going to the store and stopping for something, and then you're mad at yourself for the rest of the day. And it's like that pattern and that loop cycles over and over again. And that's what can cause pain and suffering. But when you have awareness, at least, then you can have peace. And I want that for you if you want that. If you are serious about taking action on your struggle with food, body, and weight, then this is for you. Go ahead and text the word hypnosis to 855-BE-ALIVE. That's 855-232-5483. Immediately after texting that number, you will get access to our free training that will tell you why you can't figure the food, body, and weight thing out, why you can't keep weight off even after you've been successful in the past, and how to actually overcome it, including a mini hypnosis session at the end. Don't miss out. Text the word hypnosis to 855-BE-ALIVE. That's 855-232-5483.